In my excitement, I dropped the book. Greetings, CRC planners. I have a book that I really want to share with you. It's this right here called Our Turn by Kirstine Stewart. And it has been, check out all the post-it notes that I have in the book. It's a book with a lot of takeaways. This is a book that has been my nightstand companion, my gym buddy, my commuting buddy, and really everywhere friend for the past few weeks. And I'm kind of sad and also happy that it's done. Happy because there's been so many wonderful takeaways from this book. Sad because I really enjoyed reading it. And so I wanted to share with you some of my takeaways and some of the things that I really enjoyed from this read. So this book is called Our Turn by Kirstine Stewart. Now, if you don't know Kirstine Stewart, she is one of the most, if not the most powerful women in media in Canada today. She was the head of the CBC. She's been the head of Twitter Canada, and she moved to Twitter, overall Twitter, and became, I think, the VP of media there. She's held a variety of different roles in a number of different media organizations. So this book is a story of sort of three different things. The story of her career path, how she went from a graduate in English literature to getting her first job out of university as an assistant at Paragon Entertainment, and then how she built her career from that point and became the head of Paragon before the age of 30. So there's that story of her development of her career. There's also the story of organizations that she's been a part of and what she's learned about leadership from both those who have mentored her and from the roles that she's taken on in the organizations that she's been a part of, what those jobs and roles have taught her. And then there's sort of a third part that's just about women in leadership. So it's sort of less of here are all the challenges we face, but more of here is the power and strength of having women involved in leadership. So sort of three components to the story. She's very personal, very specific and detailed and vulnerable and open about her own leadership story, and I really appreciated that. I also really loved her stories of the organization she's been a part of. So she tells stories of trying to help the CBC become a more vibrant organization, trying to help the CBC become a place that more Canadians relate to. How shows like Dragon's Den became part of the CBC, how shows like Little Mosque on the Prairie, which when it aired, it was the most watched show overall that the CBC had ever aired. The 2.2 million people viewed the premiere of the show. There's that really interesting story of how do you make this 75-year-old organization become less siloed, become a more coherent, cohesive organization, and how much was she able to do, and what were the limits of her leadership simply because of the nature of the organization she was a part of. So those two stories, really fascinating. Organizational and personal, I found super interesting. The story of the benefits of women in leadership and what women bring to their jobs, I found less compelling. Still interesting, but just less compelling. What I liked about this book is Kirstine Stewart is someone who is deeply invested in a profession. She's a very seasoned media professional and businesswoman and all-around superstar. And this book is a story of what being deeply invested in one profession taught her about careers in general. So she talks about being kind of against the 5-year plan because the jobs that we're training people for or leading people towards in old school job fairs may not exist in 5 years' time. And the opportunities that may be the most exciting are ones that aren't immediately apparent to us when we look from the position we are in now and look out 5 years. So she advocates not really having 5-year plans, but more being equipped for the opportunities that may come your way and being really excellent at your job. I really liked that message. I also really liked her message of organizational culture, knowing when it is that you leave an organization. What are the questions to ask yourself? Are you still growing? Are you still learning? Are you still making a difference? And other questions that you can ask yourself to figure out whether it's time to leave an organization. My favorite chapter is the one where she talks about, it's called So Long, Superwoman, and it's about that idea of can women do it all? And she sort of challenges that question and says, well, A, what is it? B, this is a conversation that needs to happen, not in isolation, women talking to women about empowerment and about balance in their lives, but it's a conversation that needs to happen in families and in couples, because balancing work and relationships and careers and family and kids and all those things is something that needs to happen with both people in a relationship. Men need to sort of think about what their relationship is to family and what their relationship is to their own career, what they want in their own lives, and women need to do the same, and men and women need to talk to one another. I read that chapter on the bus with my husband as we were going to visit my parents, and I was just intrigued, and I was on the bus just reading sections of it out loud and quoting different paragraphs and putting, there's where a lot of the stickies in this book are, and really taking some of those messages to heart of have those open conversations, have really explicit conversations with one another. And also that either having or not having it all, whatever it is for you, yes, you can have the things that you want, or no, you can't have the things you want. Neither of those are predetermined answers. So she talks about her first relationship where managing home and her relationship and her work was really challenging. And then she talks about being married today and what that looks like in a totally different relationship. And it's open and vulnerable and interesting, and the specificity and openness in which she tells that story is so helpful, and I think incredibly useful. At least for me, it was incredibly useful. I'm in a position where I think about career and work a lot and try to figure out that balance between relationships and family and what it is I want my life to look like. I felt like I was listening to someone with a great deal of wisdom sort of share their journey, and I really appreciated it. What I liked about this book as well, and I think it's indicated in the cover, is this is her story. It's not the story of every woman. It's not the story, she's not trying to extrapolate her story to everyone, but she is telling the story of what her journey of work has been and continues to be. I finished this book last night, and then I had the most supercharged day today where I felt productive and driven and focused at work, and I really just wanted to have intense, deep, meaningful contributions where I work. And so this is my takeaway of this book, of just feeling energized and inspired and feeling this drive to be the best I can in the work that I do and to grow as much as I can in the work that I do. So if you're looking for books about careers, if you're looking at a book about media, if you're looking for a story about someone who's very, very interesting and genuine and intelligent and generous, I think, as a writer, I highly recommend this book. I thoroughly enjoyed, and I just really like her. You can tell from the book that she feels like a very authentic person, and I remember reading this, that we met several years ago in Toronto at a Ramadan party, and I remember thinking at that time, this is someone who is super interesting and intelligent and genuine, and I want to learn as much as I can from them, and this book was a chance to do that. Subscribe down below, share this video, share it with friends, watch the other videos, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time. Take care, bye!